Hi, I'm Ashura, and welcome to my playthrough of the second storyline in the main Hallowfall campaign, Gathering Shadows. Last time, when we arrived in Hallowfall, we met Faerin, a lamplighter responsible for keeping the Dawntowers lit. Unfortunately, we didn't get too much of a chance to learn about the Arathi or where they come from because we were very immediately thrust into a conflict between the Arathi and the Nerubians. So we spent a good chunk of the first storyline fending off the Nerubians and made it to this Dawn Tower and lit it just in time for the Beledar crystal to enter the Void phase. We're going to learn a lot more about Arathi culture in this part, and what exactly the Dawntowers are and what they do very shortly. So let's jump into it.
We cannot hide from evil.
Darkness has fallen. We can't rest yet. Faerin gives you a weary smile, but there's a light in her eyes. The light from the tower will hold the worst dangers in the darkness at bay. It's my duty as a lamplighter to keep all the towers blazing. My patrol takes me to Laurel's Crossing by air next. I would welcome you and Anduin at my side, for all our sakes.
We carry the flame into the unknown.
This darkness, how long does it last? Sometimes only moments, sometimes days. We lost so many the first time it turned. We will travel by air. Monsters arise in the darkness. To live under the constant threat of shadow, how do you do it? When night falls, the army enacts the shadow curfew. Get inside, get to safety. Incoming! Use the lances on those enemies! Good work. You'd fit in well with us lamplighters. As our numbers dwindle, some find their faith shaken. They turn to the whispers in the darkness. Look out! Here come more of those fiends! A behemoth! Quickly, take it down! Thank goodness. That was a small one. Those monsters can take out a warship. We must hold to our faith in the sacred flame, ourselves, and in each other if we are to succeed. Anduin stares mournfully up at the dark star. I don't know if it's an intended parallel, but the decision to call it a star is so intriguing to me, considering that the Naru on Draenor.
Kobyss are raiding Sinna's Yearning. The army went ahead, but...
Say no more. Our new allies and I will go to their aid. Seek shelter immediately. Considering that the Naru on Draenor was also referred to as the Dark Star, but that was by the orcs. So there's no real crossover there, but just thinking about the wording, the choice wording, that's what it evokes for me. Halt, Faerin. We secure the village, then rescue the captives. They'll be dead by then.
I will see you through the shadow.
I don't care if Steelstrike thinks I'm reckless. I don't care if I get hurt. I can't let my people die. We've lost too many already. To Nerubians, to kobyss, to the shadows themselves. There's hardly any of us left. How long until there are none?
Despite everything, the Arathi find joy.
Kobyss have already been dragging innocent villagers to the shore. They'll drown them and eat them. We have to save them.
In my heart, there is fire.
Kobyss lurk in the shallows of murky water and snatch any who come near, faster than a viper. And that's just when they hunt alone. In numbers, they are a swarm to be reckoned with. They've been a plague on our outskirt villages since the day we arrived. They eat victims alive, given the chance. We must rescue the villagers that have already been dragged to the water.
Be strong, my friend. Don't give in to fear.
Judging by the glint in your eye, you wish to join Faerin in this madness? To push into the kobyss waters on their turf? In their darkness? You are a fool with a death wish. But I salute your mettle. Take as many of those damnable fish out as you can before they drag you into the depths for their dinner. Soldiers, with me! Help! I'm more fighter than healer. Anduin, can you... Not with the light, but I know first aid. That will do. We'll send the injured your way.
Stormwind honors your service to the Alliance.
You have our thanks, Faerin Lothar. And you too, outsiders. Lothar?
My faith kindles my hope.
Thank you. These people are badly hurt, but I think they will make it. Some seem to have some skill in healing of their own.
Be vigilant.
I've heard of creatures that use lures such as lights in order to draw in prey. These kobyss seem to have learned to take it another step further. Darkness can play tricks on your mind. I wonder if they learn from the shadows themselves. Oh, he's also sort of speaking from experience, isn't he? I keep thinking about that one time in Shadows Rising, how he used a little bit of shadow void magic, and that hasn't popped up yet. But I'm still waiting to see if that comes up, if there's like a reference to it.
You are always welcome in Stormwind.
A beacon in the dark.
I trust in your strength. I must ask you to go ahead to reinforce Cinna's yearning. Anduin and I can see my people to safety in Laurel's Crossing. With the darkness and the kobyss, the hearts of my people in Cinna's yearning will be faltering to fear. We can't let them wallow. Light a torch with the sacred flame in the center of town and use it to inspire my people's valor. Remind them of their strength. We will catch up with you. May the flame guide you, my friend.
If you are lost in darkness, don't give in to fear.
Did I hear that right earlier? You're, Lothar?
You know the name?
Know it. I was named for Anduin Lothar, one of Stormwind's greatest heroes. He was close friends with my grandfather, King Lane Rin. Few names hold higher esteem. You must be a lady, or...
Oh no, don't you start using formalities on me. My family is noble, but it's been long since we've seen great fortune. To think I had relatives in the old world. Wonderful. I hope I can live up to such legends. Wait, if your grandfather was king of this Stormwind, then Anduin, my new friend. Are you a king?
Not anymore. So, don't you start using formalities on me, either.
I love this exchange so much. Ever since we found out from data mining that Faerin's a Lothar, I was like, you have to mention Anduin Lothar. Like, you can't have Anduin, who is named after Anduin Lothar, like, not bring up Anduin Lothar. I'm so happy to see this. I gave a little bit of an Arathi primer at the start of the last Hallowfall video, but never covered Anduin Lothar. So, I brought up how the Arathi started expanding their borders and founding the other human kingdoms that we know of today. This took place over the course of 1,000 or so years. The Empire of Arathor officially dissolved 1,200 years ago, which was when the last of the Arathi moved out from their capital of Strom and went south to actually, believe it or not, found Stormwind. So, speculatively speaking, Anduin might also have a little bit of Arathi in his family history. Anduin Lothar was a knight of Stormwind, and he was pretty old by the time the Second War came around. And he was the last of the Arathor line. Remember how I brought up the Troll Wars and how the High Elves went to the humans to ask for their help in conflict against the Trolls, and that basically indebted the High Elves to the humans forever? Well, All these 2,700 years later, Anduin Lothar, the last of his line, was able to call in on that debt and get the High Elves to join in the Second War with the alliance against the Trolls and Orcs. Unfortunately, Anduin Lothar falls in battle at Blackrock Spire, but it is because of his lineage and the history all those years ago that he was almost single-handedly able to ensure victory for the Alliance in the Second War. Faerin Lothar is his very distant relative. We're talking a shared ancestor that goes back anywhere from like 1200 to 2700 years at most. They're probably barely blood related at all, but they probably, very likely, both come from Thoradin's bloodline. And it was actually a little bit funny to me that Faerin says, "My family is noble, but it's been long since we've seen great fortune," because the same thing sort of happened to the Lothar family on the Eastern Kingdoms. Like, they ended up abdicating from the Strom throne, because the Trollbanes are the ones who lead Stromgarde now, and even though the Arathi as a people helped found the other human kingdoms, the family ended up dwindling in such a way that the only person left in that bloodline was Anduin Lothar, who was just a knight of Stormwind, despite the fact that his family helped found Stormwind. There's a lot of questions there that we don't really know the answers to at this point, and probably won't find them out anytime soon, because it's not that relevant. But I really like drawing parallels between Anduin Lothar and the Arathi here, and what we know of the Arathi history on the Eastern Kingdoms, and how this sort of parallels or is different from that. This Arathi Empire is still going strong when our Arathi Empire dissolved 1200 years ago. But it's so cool seeing like bits and pieces of that lore distributed here. It hints at it and everything. I love it. I love it.
So you live. Is Faerin well?
So you outsiders and Faerin managed to both survive and save the villagers at the beach? Steelstrike breathes a quick prayer in relief. Would that we could all brave the darkness as Faerin does. We're in trouble here. The kobyss did not come in numbers, but in strength. They've brought some of their strongest forces to the doorsteps of villagers. We have our hands full just holding the line. If you can take out those monsters, we might be able to turn the tide. The Arathi will fight so long as the light is with us. Destroy those monsters! I'm glad you're all right, Faerin. Now stop and take a breath for once.
Stormwind will endure.
The shadows are unsettling.
Never lose hope.
Every Arathi has killed more kobyss than I care to count. You've also lost more Arathi to kobyss than I want to count. I don't know what underwater cavern they hail from, but I shudder to think of it.
We are a light in the darkness.
The Arathi are strong, proud. The kobyss may be vile, but they will not win this day.
If you are lost in darkness,
A wave of shadow! What just happened?
a lamplighter brings hope.
Faerin's wide eyes dart around in surprise. What just happened? Did you see that shadow? In the oil well, it's gone dark? I have never seen anything like this before. Could it be the nearby Dawntower? Hurry!
Be strong, my friend.
The shadows came from the Dawntower. Faerin, wait! We must withdraw to Beledar. Tower.
When shadow falls, lamplighters rise.
Faerin stares at the tower in the distance, a strange flickering light reflecting in her eyes. The tower.
Despite everything, the Arathi find
Arathi Tower turns to dark fire. We zoom into the tower. Its light has been replaced with a shadowy flame. Around it are Order of Night cultists channeling the shadows. Suddenly, an arrow strikes. Illyria appears. The cultists scatter, but the leader Aelric locks eyes with Illyria. The shadows have spoken of her. Illyria threatens him, but he flees, and she turns her bow to the remaining cultists. That was Aelric, the bastard! We have to help Illyria.
We each walk a line.
No, the sacred flame. What has Aelric and his cult done? I don't know, but they claim allegiance to Xalatath, and so their lives are forfeit.
Use every weapon at your disposal.
So much darkness. How could it come to this? Does the light give way to darkness so easily? Tell me about Aelric. Aelric was one of us, a lamplighter. For years he worked with us to keep the Dawntowers lit and the people of Hallowfall safe. We all trusted him. He'd fought with us. We'd saved people from the darkness together. Then he betrayed the Arathi, and everything the Lamplighters stand for. He ambushed my friend Andari, and leads the Order of Night, who caused the breach here and all these deaths. I'm still not sure. Is he ever good? Did he plan that from the start? I don't know anyone more terrible. No one even comes close.
A beacon in the dark.
The fear and shame of these traitors lingers in the air like a smog.
Aim true.
This Order of Night, as they call themselves, did some foul ritual to turn the tower's flame to darkness. I know not what. We should investigate.
The shadows can be an ally.
The flame is corrupted. Can we restore it? Dark fire. This shadow... It's too much. Anduin, help her. Call upon the light once more. Faerin glances at Anduin in surprise. No, I can't. There must be another way. The wounds on the body form a ritualistic pattern. This poor soul was not only killed, but sacrificed to the darkness. My fellows, we have lived in fear long enough. Beledar has been trying to show us the way. The light has forsaken us. In the light's glare, all are watched, exposed. In the darkness, we are free. We are afraid of the dark only because the light wants us to be. Beledar has shown us the way. No more fear. Instead, we must become fear. Aelric lead. The journal is heavily scratched out and torn up. Few segments remain. Tabitha, I'm leaving. I'm tired. I don't expect you to understand. The Order of Night gathers strength. They hide in caves, in towns, and linger with our greatest enemies. They even have a base beneath one of their precious towers. The army has no idea. The light has made us all blind. Not me. Not anymore. What have we fought for this whole time? Why are we here? Does Beledar even know we exist? Does it love us for our devotion? Or does it hate us for holding it back? What if its true form is darkness? We've toiled in the light for years. What good has it done? We die, picked off in the shadows, one by one. Perhaps we should listen to what Beledar is trying to tell us. There's comfort in the shadows. I'm tired, Tabitha. I know what this means. I know we will end up hurting our own, hurting you. I'm not sorry. The polearm has faint sigils carved into the haft. They've been torn and changed, forming new shapes. They pulse with dark energy.
My faith kindles my hope.
A cave? Could they still be nearby, continuing to corrupt
In
the
my
flame?
heart, there is fire. When shadow falls, lamplighters rise.
So they killed Kelthur too? Faerin squeezes her eyes shut and mouths a prayer and a curse at the same time. We'll make sure he gets a proper funeral. The Order of Night will pay for this. We sealed off Gloomcrag, the nearby cave, years ago. They must have dug their way in so they could target this Dawntower. How long have they been planning this? How long has the Order of Night been among our ranks?
Despite everything, the Arathi find joy.
When I reached for the flame, I felt the overwhelming hopelessness and despair that had been poured into it. It pains me, but my light alone is not enough to banish these shadows. And so we take a more direct path. If the remaining cultists have withdrawn to Gloomcrag Bower, their combined power must be what's keeping the flame dark. We must stop them before this darkness spreads.
Be strong, my friend.
Look out! What are those things? They hardly seem real. A trick of the shadow. I will deal with them. You all go ahead. Anduin nods. Quickly! Aelric is nowhere to be found, but these traitors are wielding powerful darkness up ahead.
We are a light in the darkness.
Faerin's jaw is firm. They made their choice.
Don't give in to fear.
Faerin speaks in a hushed, furious whisper. Good work. But before we can leave, there's something else. Down this way are some powerful priests. I think they're summoning something big. No doubt to strike at us above and take the tower back. It will be dangerous, but we must stop them. Are you with me? If we stop that ritual, I should be able to cleanse the flame. Anduin's light reluctance. The summoning ritual still succeeds, and a massive monster spawns, then attacks the player and Faerin. Anduin looks at his hand. He wants to call in the light, he wants to help, but he just can't. Anduin roars in frustration and attacks the monster with his blade. Player and Faerin recover, and the battle begins. Stand strong! The darkness won't take us today! Trapped in the darkness, there is no way out. Anduin, your light. What happened to it? It doesn't matter. I am no longer worthy of it. Faerin frowns.
I will see you through the shadow.
Faerin's eyes are dark with weariness. It never ends, does it?
We carry the flame into the unknown.
I've never seen shadows this deep, this vicious. It almost feels like they're reaching for us. Faerin shudders. We can't stay here.
A beacon in the dark.
More shadows. We're trapped in here, aren't we? No, we're not giving up here.
I need to target something first.
Let's go. We can do this if we stick together. The light shines through you. But what if it goes out? What if you fail your people? You think I've never failed? I've never made mistakes? I was never even supposed to be in Hallowfall. I stowed away to escape a family that only ever saw me as a failure. Was it a mistake? I lost an eye and an arm for it. Does that make me unworthy of the light? I regret nothing. I keep fighting because in the darkness, it's all we can do. I can't give up. It's not in my nature. And I don't think it's in yours either.
do not have a target.
You don't understand. I've hurt people. I was controlled by darkness, but part of me enjoyed it. Enjoyed hurting people? Or no longer being able to agonize over every thought and action. Having doubt, making mistakes. None of these make you unworthy, Anduin. They light your path forward. Anduin looks surprised, but thoughtful. The entrance, it's gone. There really is no way out. Enough of your illusions, Xalatath. Beledar's light has returned. Thank you, Illyria.
Greetings.
I'm glad you're safe. I sensed something amiss when those creatures suddenly stopped attacking the tower and disappeared. That was no simple illusion Xalatath trapped you in. I wonder, was I its intended target? You? Me? Anduin? Faerin? Perhaps she was happy to ensnare any of us. I didn't think about this the first time, but I like the metaphor of the blockage at the end of the cave as like an illusion Anduin has of him not actually being able to get out, and then others coming and helping him and showing that, like, nope, that is fake, you can get through this.
Farewell. We do what we must for those we love.
Do you feel it? Hope returning? Thank you for your help. The Dawntowers' flame remains dark, but this time I think we'll be able to restore it. Let's meet at the tower.
In my heart, there is fire.
Illyria, we would have been lost without you. Thank you. I'm glad you're all safe. Let's end this.
A lamplighter brings hope.
Holy flame renewed. Faerin begins the ritual to restore the light, but looks back at Anduin. She's seen him struggle. She extends a hand. He refuses, but she insists. Finally, he accepts and joins in the ritual. Faerin tells Anduin to relax, breathe, let it all go. Be here in the light. The light begins to trickle and the ritual completes.
We cannot hide from evil.
Faerin gives a warm, tired smile. Thank you. Thank the light you all arrived when you did. I'm glad we can help each other.
Don't give in to fear.
That's the second
If you're lost in
storyline.
darkness, we are here to help.
I love that storyline so much because going into it, I really wanted to have a moment, like a sit-down moment with Anduin where we could really check in, because we were really thrown in at the start of this zone. Like, we didn't get a chance to talk to anyone to figure out what was going on, and finally we got that moment here where we had that interaction between Anduin and Faerin about Anduin Lothar, and then coming off of that got a moment to really reflect about Anduin's mental block and where he's at in regards to the light. And I really like that Faerin sort of called him out, and she's like, I know you don't like hurting people. What you liked was that you didn't have to be in control and didn't have to be responsible, and you feel ashamed for that. And I feel like that's so big, because when you think about the whole storyline revolving around him being King of Stormwind and never really feeling ready for that responsibility, I think that he felt extra guilty after what happened in Shadowlands and needed to step away from that responsibility, but sort of in doing so made it feel worse. Like, him taking time off didn't make him feel better, and we saw that in the War Within cinematic. He was still going through it just as much as he was like a year ago, right? And I love that, like, Faerin Lothar is such an inspiration, and she has that moment of doubt herself where she's like, is it's so easy for the light to become darkness, but then she's also able to show that the reverse is true, that it's also so easy for the darkness to become light. And I love that no matter what she's gone through, no matter what her family thought of her, that she is so dedicated and so optimistic. And I like that she's taken everything that shaped her, no matter how bad it is, and turned it into a strength. And I just really feel like she's the most perfect person to talk to Anduin right now and sort of provide him with that strength, I guess. So I don't know, I love her. The storyline really made me feel so strongly for her, and it only gets more throughout the rest of the zone. Next time, we're finally gonna make it to the Arathi capital city here, Beledar, and really figure out what's going on with the Order of Night, these cultists who are very interested in worshipping the void. But that's all for this storyline, so thank you so much for joining me for the second part of Hallowfall, and I will see you next time for the final part. Harbinger promised. That's exactly what Modgood said too before she died when Xalatoth abandoned her. Correct. I'm a paladin of the holy light, and you will disappear. My sound just shut off? That was so rude, bro. Ambiance in this zone is so creepy. Incoming. Use the lances on those enemies. What the heck? We're not. Help. A behemoth? What the heck is that? Why is it flying? Why? That was a small one? What do you mean? I'm emotional.